I would like
Yeah.
to ask you the normal things that I ask people that come on the show. When did you first smoke, and how did that go? Like,
Let's see. I think I was 15.
okay,
Oh, it was the last day of ninth grade.
nice.
Last day of ninth grade at my friend Susie's house. Her older brother was there. It was me, my friend Susie, my friend Nicole. Hi guys. um, but yeah, we went. Her brother Randy was there, and his really hot friend Luke was there. I was like
Nice.
15,
Shout
and
out
I
Hot
had
Luke.
the Yeah, hot Luke. I had the biggest crush on this dude. I think they were like 17 or 18 at the time. So I'm like
Hmm.
15 and they're like the older brothers, like, and he was really hot. So I was really excited, got high for the first time. We couldn't stop laughing. Then we were looking at a yearbook and we couldn't read we couldn't read the names. And we thought that was hilarious. We laughed about that forever. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like, I wonder, I saw that you've been posting like multiple times this week. You put up your ADHD eval from
Yeah.
one of those. I mean, I've done like 3 or 4 of those tests at this point, right? When were you diagnosed with that? Like, or were you?
So I was diagnosed professionally at 33, 34, maybe.
Okay,
So I'm 39 now. I'll be 40 in January, so in
gotcha.
like a month. So but I was diagnosed later in life, and then when I was, because the reason I found out is because I have a child with autism, and there's a lot of overlap
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of autism, ADHD.
Mm-hmm. It's on the same spectrum now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
no, I don't think it's not on the same spectrum, but there's a lot of overlap of, what's the word I'm looking for? Christ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
behaviors or symptoms. I don't know if
Similar,
that's the right
similar
word.
things. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
would
just
go with
similar
those.
stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and there's a lot of the times kids with autism will also be diagnosed with ADHD. My
Yep,
daughter was actually diagnosed with ADHD when she was in kindergarten.
yep.
So that's when I started researching it for that, I was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, it's hereditary. Maybe. Yeah, 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 yeah. These seem
Well, no,
very
it just
likely for me.
it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
described me. It just, and I had never, honestly, had never even like thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I ever. And then when I read like what, I was like, oh shit. Like I've had this my whole and then I told my mom that I was going to go get diagnosed, and she's like, yeah, I always kind of thought maybe you had that.
You
And I'm
had
like,
that.
and I
See,
have that.
I got diagnosed as an adult as well, which is super weird to have
It
happen.
is.
Like, people don't understand, because like you go through life going like, oh, I'm fine. What do you mean? Like, and then
Yeah.
suddenly, like, what
You think you're
for me?
normal.
For me,
Like,
college happened, right?
Oh, okay.
So, my mother was a teacher, right? So being able to like drag me through school with emails from teachers and stuff like that was a battle and a half. I mean, and God bless both my parents for dealing with that shit. But, like, it was definitely like one of those, those classic things they ask you in those evals were like, did you do well on tests and in school? But if people
Yeah.
told you if you just put the effort in, you would do better. It's like all those things that get asked of
Well, the
us.
thing is too,
Yeah.
it presents very differently in males versus females.
Yeah.
Especially like at like a younger age. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think girls are kind of forced to mask
Yeah.
a lot. Like we're expected to behave a certain way, so I think that we are very good at masking.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it presents very differently, and that's actually, autism is the same way too, because
Yeah.
we were very fortunate. Our daughter was diagnosed, we at like 2.5, she did her first eval, and it was like we weren't sure we were going to monitor it. And it was really funny because when we were at that appointment, one of the things that they asked was, does she repeat or recite things,
Yeah.
or does she like have you repeat, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she didn't that day, and I swear to God, the next day she started doing that. And I was like, oh, all right, because we kind of thought like we're already kind of like, oh, okay, we thought. But it's like sometimes it's very hard for if you have girls to get doctors to take you seriously, because it's like the diagnostic process is very male skewed. Like do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah,
I mean,
so it does present very differently.
Yeah, for me it was I got to college, right? And like, parents had essentially like we bought a foreclosed house near the college so that I can have somewhere to go, and I just essentially didn't go. Like at some point my brain went, you don't need to do this, and like I couldn't understand why, right? And my suicidal stuff, all that stuff along with it, and parents went into like parents went into marriage. My father's a behavioral health counselor, right? So as well as a boat captain, which pays more, so he does that instead. But they like they essentially went to like marriage counseling at that point because they didn't know what the fuck to do. And the leader was like, go get him tested for this. It definitely seems like that. And it was like the moment it was said and like what it was, like the moment you clicked into that awareness of what it is, how different was that for you to just go like, oh, okay.
Everything made sense.
It's
all
like
of a sudden
your brain went,
everything.
oh, that's what it is. Like,
yeah.
And it's like people with ADHD get it. And it's like explaining it to other people about like, there's no good way for me to go like, yeah, I could talk about motivational centers of the brain and how it affects focus and how those things are disconnected.
Cognitively, I know all of those things. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, and don't get me started on schedules and disciplining. I know they help, but like, fuck you.
I am good. Like my calendar does save me. I won't lie. Like if you know me, you know, like I have a calendar. I like old school calendar hanging in my kitchen. And I write everything there. And if I did not, but I mean, it's still like, there's still times that, like I'll forget to write something on there or whatever. So I still fuck it up sometimes, but that does help. For sure. Kind of.
I mean,
yes, it does help for sure.
I've got whiteboards and stuff everywhere. I want to get a digital one of those because it's like, to me, I want something this small that I can just grab, write a note, save,
remember Post-its?
Done. Yeah, Post-its? I mean, but like how many of those am I gonna have shoved around like my space already? It's like for me, those things are like it's one of those things. I despise structure in any way. Like me personally, I hate being structured, and it like hurts me to do. But I end up having to go, all right, I gotta fucking do it. Like. You have to put that, for me, I was super fucking fat too because of it. So it was like, once I figured out, I was like, oh, let me take all that, like, let me make it convenient for myself to do the right thing. Right. And like, I only have to worry about focusing on it now once a week. I make all my meals for the week, set them in there. And I was 620. I'm now 440 this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I've lost crazy amounts of weight.
That is amazing.
So usually my Twitter threads usually involve someone going fat, and I can just go, I've lost more weight than you combined twice. I can throw you around just fine. I'm good. Like it's just the fun. It's just like, it's like classic. It's like I'm arguing with Biden all day. It's just like, shut up, fat. Like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you liked it. Okay, go over there, that subscribe right there, hit that shit. If you want to see where this clip is from, fuck it, go over there, hit that one. Hit that one up there in that corner. Right? If you want to see what YouTube recommends on my channel, hit that one. Hit that one.